Have you ever said something to your children or grandchildren without realizing how deeply it could affect them? As we navigate the later chapters of our lives, the relationships we share with our family become increasingly valuable. Yet, it's often in the small, everyday moments, during casual conversations or fleeting remarks, that we unintentionally say things that can create hurt or misunderstanding. Words, as simple as they may seem, carry weight, and their impact can ripple through our closest relationships in ways we may not even notice. For many of us, family is at the heart of our happiness, especially as we age. It's natural to want to nurture a peaceful, loving connection with our children and grandchildren, but maintaining harmony takes awareness and effort. That's what this discussion is all about. Whether you're looking to strengthen the bonds you share with your family or want to create an environment that fosters respect and love, these insights are here to guide you. Today, we'll delve into 10 common phrases or habits that you may not realize could create tension with your children and grandchildren, and, more importantly, how to avoid them. These aren't about pointing fingers or blaming anyone. Instead, they're practical tips designed to help you approach family communication with thoughtfulness, patience, and love. Whether it's how you frame your past experiences, the words you choose, or the way you react to generational differences, small changes can have a profound impact. By the end of this conversation, you'll have the tools to avoid pitfalls that can strain family relationships. Instead, you'll discover how to create a safe and supportive space where your children feel understood and cherished, and where you can enjoy the peace and emotional well-being that come from a loving family connection. Plus, we'll touch on ways to take care of your own mental and emotional health as you foster this harmonious environment. So, I encourage you to stay with me through this journey. These small adjustments may seem simple, but they have the power to transform your relationships, bringing not only greater happiness to your family but also a sense of fulfillment and inner peace to your own life. Let's dive in together. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe and activate the notification bell to stay connected. Your support means the world to me. If you find this discussion helpful, consider liking and sharing it with others. It's a simple way to help spread these valuable lessons and create positive change for more families. 1. Don't compare your children to others. Have you ever found yourself admiring another family's child and thinking, "Why isn't my son or daughter more like them?" It's natural to notice the skills or accomplishments of others, but vocalizing those comparisons, even in a casual or well-meaning way, can have a lasting impact on your child's self-esteem. Comments like, "Look at how well James's son does in school," or "Why can't you be more like Susan's daughter, who's so polite and hardworking," may seem harmless at the moment, but they can inadvertently plant seeds of self-doubt in your child's mind. While you might only be trying to motivate them, what they often hear instead is, "I'm not good enough," or "My parent doesn't value me as I am." The truth is, every child is unique, with their own set of strengths, weaknesses, and paths in life. Some children may excel in academics, while others might shine in creative pursuits, athletics, or kindness and empathy. It's these differences that make them who they are. By comparing them to someone else, you risk dismissing their individuality and the gifts that only they can bring to the world. Instead of focusing on what you think they lack, shift your perspective to what makes them special. Does your son, Daniel, have a knack for storytelling that lights up every family gathering? Does your daughter, Emily, have an artistic eye that brings beauty to the simplest things? Celebrate those unique talents and passions. For example, instead of saying, "Why can't you be more organized like Michael?" try saying, "I love how creative you are, and I can see how much heart you put into your projects." When you encourage and acknowledge their strengths, you show them that you value and trust who they are. This not only builds their confidence, but also strengthens the emotional connection between them. Remember, your children aren't looking to be the best in someone else's eyes. They're looking to feel like they're enough in yours. By supporting them as they grow and discover their path, you provide a foundation of love and understanding that they can carry with them throughout life. Your belief in them becomes their greatest source of strength, helping them to face challenges with resilience and to live authentically as themselves. 2. Avoid comparing today's struggles with your past. Every generation faces its own unique set of challenges. As parents, we've walked our tough roads, dealt with hardships, and found ways to overcome them. But the world our children live in today is vastly different from the one we know. Society evolves quickly, and with it come new pressures: career instability, skyrocketing costs of living, the complexities of modern relationships, and the ever-present demands of technology. What our children are dealing with may not resemble our past struggles, but that doesn't mean it's any easier. When we say things like, back in my day, we had to work twice as hard and with half as much, or you have it so much easier than we did, we may think we're putting things into perspective, but often, it makes our children feel dismissed or misunderstood. Statements like these can inadvertently invalidate their efforts and create a gap in understanding. The truth is, it's not a competition of who had it worse. It's about recognizing that struggles look different for each generation. For example, our generation may have worked long hours in physically demanding jobs or saved every penny to make ends meet. Meanwhile, today's younger adults might be grappling with the stress of student loan debt, navigating the instability of gig work, or managing the blurred boundaries of remote work. It's a different world, and understanding this difference is key to bridging the gap. Rather than comparing hardships, try leaning in with empathy. If your daughter, Sarah, is stressed about balancing her demanding career with raising her children, acknowledge her efforts. You might say, I can see how much you're juggling, and I'm proud of how hard you're working for your family. If your son, Mark, is frustrated by the high cost of housing, validate his feelings with something like, it's a tough market right now. I know it's not easy to find your footing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Listening without judgment creates a space where your children feel safe to open up about their challenges. Instead of offering comparisons, offer encouragement. Let them know that their struggles matter to you and that you'll always be there to support them, no matter how different their path may be from yours. By choosing empathy over comparison, you strengthen your bond with your children. They'll feel seen, heard, and valued for who they are and the world they live in today. And in doing so, you remind them of something they need most. No matter how tough life gets, they have someone who believes in them unconditionally. 3. Stop rehashing your child's past failures. Life is full of ups and downs. We all stumble, make mistakes, and experience setbacks. It's an inevitable part of the human journey. It's often through failure that we learn, grow, and develop the resilience needed to face future challenges. But as parents, we can sometimes unintentionally magnify those failures by bringing them up repeatedly, long after they've happened. For instance, you might say, remember when you failed that class in college? That's why you're struggling now. Or if only you hadn't made that decision back then, you'd be in a better place today. These remarks may seem like reminders or lessons in hindsight, but to your child, they can feel like a spotlight on their shortcomings, a reminder that they've disappointed you. Over time, this can chip away at their confidence, making them feel inferior or even questioning whether they have your approval. No one wants their mistakes to define them, especially when they're trying their best to move forward. Imagine how you'd feel if someone constantly brought up a misstep you made years ago as if that single moment encapsulated your entire character. It's a heavy burden that can make anyone feel stuck in the past. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on their effort, growth, and the progress they've made since then. For example, if your son, Ethan, struggled to find steady work after dropping out of school, recognize the steps he's taken to get back on track. You might say, I'm proud of how hard you've worked to turn things around and find something that makes you happy. Or if your daughter, Jessica, faced a tough breakup that affected her confidence, you can encourage her by saying, I see how much stronger you've become through everything you've been through. By shifting the narrative from failure to resilience, you help your children see their strengths and potential. Your words can become a source of encouragement, reminding them that setbacks are just stepping stones to success. Home should be their sanctuary, a place where they feel safe, supported, and loved unconditionally, no matter what challenges they face. When your children know they can return to you without fear of judgment, they gain the courage to keep moving forward. Your tolerance and affection act as a safety net, giving them the confidence to tackle life's difficulties and pursue their dreams. Let them see that, in your eyes, they're not defined by their failures but by their determination to keep trying. After all, what your children need most from you isn't a reminder of their past missteps. It's your belief in their ability to grow, thrive, and succeed despite them. 4. Refrain from negative remarks. The world has changed significantly since we were young. The way today's younger generation works, socializes, and even relaxes can feel unfamiliar, and at times, even frustrating. From the constant presence of smartphones to the rise of unconventional career paths and lifestyles, it's easy to feel disconnected from their choices. However, offering criticism or negative remarks about these differences can unintentionally damage your relationship with your children and grandchildren. Comments like, Why are you always glued to that phone? Or you should think about getting a real job, might come from a place of concern, but to your child, they can feel dismissive or belittling. These remarks may suggest that you don't respect or value the way they live their lives, creating a sense of distance. Over time, this can cause your children to hesitate to share their thoughts, dreams, or even struggles with you, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. It's important to remember that, just as we faced our unique challenges growing up, today's young people are navigating a world that's vastly different from the one we knew. The pressure to succeed in competitive workplaces, build meaningful relationships, and maintain some semblance of balance in a fast-paced, hyper-connected society is enormous. Though their struggles may look different from ours, they're just as real and significant. Instead of focusing on what you find confusing or frustrating, try to approach these differences with curiosity and openness. If your daughter, Megan, spends hours editing videos for her online side hustle, ask her what she enjoys about it and what her goals are. If your grandson, Ryan, seems immersed in a video game, take a moment to ask what he likes about it or how it works. Showing interest in their world, even if it's foreign to you, lets them know that you respect their choices and value their perspective. When you replace negative remarks with thoughtful questions, you create an opportunity for meaningful dialogue. For example, instead of saying, "You're wasting so much time on that app," you might say, "That seems interesting. What do you like about it?" This simple shift in tone can make all the difference. It not only helps you understand their experiences, but also fosters a sense of trust and connection. Through open and non-judgmental conversations, you'll find that the generational gap begins to close. Even if you don't fully understand or agree with their choices, showing support and respect strengthens the bond between you. The unchanging values of family love, devotion, and mutual respect remain the foundation of these relationships, no matter how different your worlds may seem. Ultimately, refraining from negative remarks is about creating a safe space where your children and grandchildren feel free to be themselves. By listening with an open heart and embracing the differences, you build a bridge of understanding that fosters a deeper, more loving connection within your family. 5. Don't keep talking about your sacrifices. As parents, the sacrifices we make for our children often come from a place of deep love and selflessness. We give our time and energy, and sometimes even put our dreams on hold, all in the hope of creating a better future for them. These sacrifices are a labor of love, and they shape the foundation of the lives our children build for themselves. But as meaningful as these efforts are, repeatedly bringing them up in conversation can unintentionally create feelings of guilt or obligation in your children. Statements like, "I gave up so much so you could have what you have today," or "Do you know how much I sacrificed for you?" may seem like a way to remind them of your hard work, but to your child, these words can feel like a heavy burden. They might start to believe they owe you something they can never truly repay, creating a sense of emotional debt that can strain your relationship. Instead of focusing on what you've given up, celebrate the joy that your sacrifices have brought. For instance, if your son, Alex, has built a successful career, share how proud you are of the person he's become. If your daughter, Hannah, has created a happy family of her own, express how fulfilling it is to see her thriving. By focusing on their growth and achievements, you shift the narrative from sacrifice to celebration. It's also worth remembering that unspoken sacrifices often carry the most weight. When your children see the love and effort you've poured into their lives without you having to remind them, they'll naturally grow to appreciate all that you've done. Gratitude doesn't need to be forced. It blossoms when your actions speak louder than your words. Beyond the impact on your children, letting go of the need to constantly highlight your sacrifices can also bring you emotional relief. It allows you to embrace a more natural and balanced relationship with your kids, one that's rooted in mutual respect and unconditional love rather than a sense of duty. For example, rather than saying, "I gave up my career to raise you," try, "I'm so glad I had the chance to be there for you when you needed me." This simple reframing not only lightens the emotional weight for your children, but also helps you reflect on your sacrifices with pride and joy instead of regret. Ultimately, the most enduring legacy of parental sacrifice is the love and stability it creates. When your children feel supported without guilt or pressure, they'll carry that love forward, not out of obligation, but out of genuine appreciation. A relationship built on this foundation becomes a source of strength for both of you, a testament to the power of selfless love. So, let your sacrifices remain as quiet testaments to your love. Trust that your children will see them for what they are, and in doing so, you'll create a bond that's rooted in gratitude, respect, and mutual happiness. 6. Avoid saying, "I'm old and can't do anything anymore." Aging is an inevitable part of life, and with it often comes a sense of slowing down. We may find it harder to do the things we once enjoyed or feel a sense of loss for the energy and abilities we had in our youth. It's natural to have moments where we feel frustrated or limited by age. However, repeatedly saying things like, "I'm too old for that," or "I can't do anything anymore," can unintentionally worry or even sadden your children. Hearing you put yourself down might leave your children feeling helpless or disheartened. They may begin to believe you've given up on finding joy or purpose in life, and this can create an emotional strain. They may even feel guilty, thinking they're not doing enough to support or uplift you. Moreover, such statements can limit not just how they see you but also how you see yourself, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy or despair. But aging isn't just about what we lose, it's about what we gain. With the years come invaluable life experience, wisdom, and perspectives can't be taught in books or learned overnight. These are treasures that you carry and can share with your family, your community, and anyone who crosses your path. For instance, your grandchildren can learn patience, resilience, and kindness from your stories and guidance. Your children can find inspiration in the way you've overcome challenges and adapted to life's changes. Even simple acts, like offering a listening ear, sharing memories, or encouraging a loved one through their struggles, are powerful contributions that have lasting effects. Instead of focusing on what you can no longer do, embrace what you can do. If you feel tempted to say, "I can't keep up anymore," try reframing it into something like, "I'm enjoying life at a slower pace these days, but I'm always here for you when you need me." This shift in tone not only reassures your children but also reminds you of the value you bring to their lives. Your attitude towards aging sets an example for your family. When you approach life's changes with optimism and grace, it inspires your children to do the same when they face challenges of their own. It also fosters a sense of pride and comfort in them, knowing that you're finding meaning and joy in your life, regardless of age. By embracing the unique gifts that come with growing older, you not only strengthen your relationships with your family but also rediscover the immense value you bring to those around you. Your wisdom, your love, and your presence remain powerful forces that can uplift and unite your family, filling your home with renewed energy and peace. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Aging may slow your steps, but it doesn't diminish your ability to leave a lasting impact. By choosing to focus on your strengths and finding purpose in each day, you continue to be a source of pride, comfort, and love for your children and grandchildren. 7. No one needs to take care of me. Try not to say this. Independence is a source of pride for many of us, especially as we age. We've spent our lives taking care of others, raising children, building careers, and handling countless responsibilities. It's natural to want to continue standing on our own 2 feet, not wanting to burden anyone, particularly our children. Out of love and consideration, we might say things like, "Don't worry about me. I don't need anyone to take care of me." While this sentiment often comes from a good place, it can unintentionally make your children feel sad or disconnected. For your children, taking care of you isn't just about responsibility. It's about love. It's their way of giving back, of expressing their gratitude for everything you've done for them. By insisting they don't need to help, you may inadvertently create a barrier, leaving them unsure of how to show their affection or contribute to your well-being. Hearing, "I don't need anyone to look after me," repeatedly can also make them hesitate to offer support, fearing they might be overstepping or going against your wishes. This reluctance can lead to a missed opportunity to strengthen your bond. Accepting their help doesn't diminish your independence. Instead, it fosters a sense of trust and connection, reminding them that their efforts have meaning in your life. For example, if your daughter, Laura, insists on helping with your grocery shopping or your son, David, wants to assist with household chores, accept their kindness with gratitude. You might say, "Thank you, that means a lot to me. I appreciate having you in my corner." Simple acts like these create a warm, supportive relationship where both sides feel valued and connected. By allowing your children to care for you in small ways, you're not taking away from your independence. You're inviting them into your life in a deeper, more meaningful way. This shared experience can strengthen family bonds and create moments of closeness that both you and your children will cherish. Let your children know how much their love and support mean to you. A heartfelt acknowledgement, like "I'm so grateful to have you looking out for me," reassures them that their efforts are appreciated and strengthens the emotional connection. It also helps to shift the focus away from a sense of obligation and toward a shared expression of love and devotion. Ultimately, allowing your children to care for you creates a nurturing environment where everyone feels valued and connected. It's a reminder that family is about give and take, a balance of love, support, and respect across generations. By accepting their care, you're not only easing their concerns but also enriching your relationship with a deeper sense of trust and mutual appreciation. 8. Don't blame your children for not paying enough attention to you. In today's fast-paced world, life can often feel like a juggling act. Many of our children are balancing demanding jobs, raising families of their own, and managing countless responsibilities. It's not uncommon for this busy lifestyle to leave little room for regular visits or phone calls, and as parents, this can sometimes make us feel forgotten, lonely, or even unimportant. In moments of frustration, we might find ourselves saying things like, "You never visit anymore," or "I guess you're too busy to remember me." While these words may come from a place of hurt, they can unintentionally create guilt or pressure for your children. Instead of bringing them closer, such remarks may make them feel inadequate, as though no matter how hard they try, it's never enough. This can lead to strained relationships and a reluctance to reach out, deepening the very distance we're trying to bridge. Instead of focusing on how often they call or visit, try to approach the situation with understanding. Acknowledge that your children are likely doing their best to juggle their commitments. When you show empathy for their busy lives, it not only eases their stress but also strengthens the bond between you. At the same time, it's important to find joy and fulfillment in your own life. Consider exploring hobbies or activities that bring you happiness. Whether it's gardening, joining a book club, volunteering, or reconnecting with old friends, these pursuits not only enrich your life but also demonstrate to your children that you're thriving. When they see you engaged and content, it reassures them that you're not relying solely on their attention for your happiness. For instance, if your son, Michael, has a demanding job and can only call once a week, cherish those conversations instead of focusing on how often they happen. You might say, "I'm so glad you called. I love hearing your voice and catching up with you." Such positivity makes those moments feel special and encourages them to keep reaching out without feeling pressured. When you avoid placing heavy demands on your children's time, your relationship becomes more natural and free of guilt. Without the weight of expectations, they'll often feel more comfortable and eager to spend time with you when they can. A positive, tolerant attitude creates an inviting atmosphere that draws families closer together. Remember, it's not about how frequently your children visit or call. It's about the quality of the connection you share when they do. By cultivating your happiness and showing understanding of their circumstances, you foster a relationship built on mutual respect, love, and appreciation. Ultimately, the key to deepening family bonds lies in balancing your needs with theirs. When you approach the relationship with patience, empathy, and a spirit of independence, you create an environment where both you and your children can thrive. And in doing so, you find the peace and fulfillment that comes from cherishing the moments you do share, however brief they may be. 9. Don't scold over trivial matters. As we grow older, it's natural to develop preferences for how things should be done. Whether it's the way the house is cleaned, how family members organize their lives, or even the frequency of calls and visits, small things can start to stand out. When these minor irritations build up, it's easy to let frustration slip into criticism. However, focusing on these details, no matter how insignificant they may seem, can create tension and distance within the family. For example, if your daughter, Rachel, forgets to return a borrowed dish, or your grandson, Ben, doesn't tidy up his room when visiting, it might be tempting to scold or lecture. But repeatedly pointing out these small faults can make family members feel like they can never measure up to your expectations. Over time, this can lead to feelings of discomfort, guilt, or even avoidance. It's important to recognize that everyone has different habits, routines, and ways of living. Just because something doesn't align with your preferences doesn't mean it's wrong. Letting go of the need to correct every little thing creates space for a more relaxed and harmonious environment, where family members feel free to be themselves. Instead of focusing on what bothers you, try to shift your perspective. If your son, Matthew, prefers to text instead of call, appreciate the effort he's making to stay in touch rather than fixating on the format of communication. If your granddaughter, Emily, has a messy room when she visits, remind yourself that her time spent with you is more valuable than the state of her belongings. By choosing generosity and understanding over criticism, you foster a sense of warmth and acceptance that makes your home a welcoming place. Family members will naturally want to spend more time with you when they know they won't be met with judgment or constant correction. For instance, if you notice something out of place or a habit that doesn't align with your preferences, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth mentioning? More often than not, you'll find that it's not. Instead, focus on the joy of having your loved ones around and the memories you're creating together. A peaceful heart is one of the greatest gifts you can give your family. When you approach them with patience, understanding, and acceptance, you create an atmosphere where they feel valued and loved. This environment not only strengthens your bond, but also brings greater joy and fulfillment to your relationships. Remember, the small things that irritate us are often far less important than the larger picture of family love and connection. By letting go of trivial matters, you allow space for closeness and fun, creating a home filled with laughter, warmth, and lasting memories. 10. Avoid excessive worry about health. Aging often brings new health challenges, aches and pains, changes in mobility, or concerns about illnesses. It's natural to feel apprehensive about these changes, but constantly expressing worry about your health can unintentionally affect your family. When you frequently talk about potential problems or voice excessive anxiety, it can make your children feel helpless, especially if they're unable to be there for you all the time. This, in turn, may create unnecessary stress and tension for everyone involved. Statements like, "I don't think I'm going to last much longer," or "I feel like something is always wrong with me," while genuine, can weigh heavily on your children's emotions. They may begin to feel guilty for not being more present or start to view every interaction as a cause for concern. Over time, this constant focus on health issues can overshadow the joy of simply being together. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Instead of letting health concerns dominate your conversations, try to approach them with calmness and practicality. Acknowledge that certain changes are a natural part of aging, but don't let them define your life or your interactions with your loved ones. Take proactive steps to manage your health, whether it's through regular checkups, a balanced diet, or staying active, but also prioritize activities that bring you happiness and fulfillment. For example, if your daughter, Amanda, calls to check in, focus on sharing the positive aspects of your day instead of dwelling on every ache and pain. You might say, "I've been feeling a little off, but I went for a nice walk in the park today, and it lifted my spirits." Sharing small joys like this helps reassure your children that you're taking care of yourself and finding ways to stay engaged with life. By maintaining a positive outlook, you also set an example for your family about how to navigate life's challenges with resilience and grace. Your children will feel comforted knowing that you're focusing on what you can control and finding peace in the present moment. This not only alleviates their worries but also allows them to enjoy their time with you without the weight of constant concern. Engaging in hobbies, celebrating daily accomplishments, or even reminiscing about happy memories can shift the focus away from health worries and toward the things that truly matter. When your children see you embracing life with optimism, it strengthens the bond between you and fosters a loving, supportive atmosphere. Ultimately, your attitude toward health can have a profound impact on your family's dynamic. By managing concerns calmly and focusing on the joys of each day, you create a peaceful and positive environment that benefits both you and your loved ones. This approach not only encourages your children but also empowers you to live your later years with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. As we wrap up, I hope these insights have given you a new perspective on how to nurture stronger, more loving relationships with your children and grandchildren. Life is a journey, and so is learning how to connect with our families in meaningful ways. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from this video that you'll bring into practice in your own life? Maybe it's a commitment to stop rehashing past mistakes, showing more understanding for generational differences, or simply embracing the joys of the present moment. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable lessons and insights with more people. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, take care, stay positive, and continue building the bonds that matter most. See you in the next video.